for show, but other parts of it that they're doing looks like they're very much a reason to invade. We don't know, but certainly of some manufactured protests in the eastern part of Ukraine as a reason to invade. We don't know, but certainly they're prepared. Some of what they're doing looks like it's for show, but other parts of it that they're doing looks like they're very much prepared to invade. And I think we would be well to help Ukraine prepare if that happens.
So tell me what you're recommending as far as U.S. action to deal with a situation like that.
I'm recommending a couple things. First, that we assist Ukraine with intelligence information, military consultation, so they know what they're up against.
What about hardware?
In terms of hardware, you know, I don't think are in a position to help Ukraine win a struggle with Russia.
What about defensive equipment?
Well, that's a possibility, but again, I think that's more likely to cause an escalation with Russia than providing information that may be more valuable to them given the timeline. The other thing that I think we can do is forward deploy some of our military assets to our NATO countries in the region. They are very concerned that we won't come to their defense.
But there are treaty obligations. If Poland or Latvia or Lithuania or Estonia, these are countries that are members of NATO, and the U.S., like all NATO countries, are obliged to, if any NATO ally is attacked, it's like an attack on all members of NATO.
Well, that's exactly right, under Article 5 of that NATO agreement.
So you think Putin would actually consider attacking a NATO ally?
I don't think so, but I think that, I know because I was in Lithuania a few days ago as well, they're desperately concerned, and they want a greater NATO presence. They lived under Soviet domination, and I think we ought to reassure them, as well as send a message to Russia that, you know, we're prepared to draw a line.
Reviving that missile defense shield, is that something you support?
You know, the missile defense shield purportedly was more about Iran than about Russia, and I'm not sure it makes sense to revisit that, but certainly I think we ought to take steps either through naval assets, air assets, or on the ground to strengthen our presence in the NATO countries in the region. And finally, Wolf, I think the sanctions need to be strengthened, and Europe has to be prepared. The preparation ought to be undertaken now to impose sector-wide sanctions if there's a further Russian incursion in Ukraine.
But they're really dependent on Russian energy exports, oil to Western Europe, Eastern Europe, Germany. A lot of these countries depend on Russian energy.
Wolf, you're absolutely right, and this will be difficult and painful for and Western Europe. But, you know, at the end of the day, they've got to ask how much is sovereignty worth? How much is it worth to stand up to Russia? They have the most at stake. And so I think we need to be really working with them now, steeling them for some tough decisions that will need to be made if Russia invades. Because unless we can raise the cost for that kind of escalation, provocation, violation of international law, I think we encourage Russia to do it in other places.
Adam Schiff, thanks very much for coming in.